collages in New York in 1969. And so this is probably 68 or so. And that was just that was from the Los Four show, and it was stuck. We did we did Passport 2 in those days because we couldn't afford frames, and it was stuck, and I had to have it carefully removed and reattached to the stuff. So that's why I ended up with that one. It's so funny, the things he just left behind. He died very suddenly. So, I mean, according to me, I was the last one to know.
Yeah.
Elsa finally gave up and came and told me like 4 weeks before he died.
Oh, wow. So you said he worked in an animation studio?
Yes, he did. And I wish I knew the name. And he even did a wonderful children's book called the Circus Parade, Animal Circus Parade. And I have a couple of the illustrations to that. There's just funny stuff.
Well, you guys did that comic book as well.
Yeah, the Los Four comic book, and I'm the only one that has a box full of them. If I could ever find them.
Oh, good. So, Mike, you want to capture the storyboarding a little bit?
Yeah, you can do it frame by frame later.
Yeah.
Frank, tell us again about this piece.
Well, it's in fact, I have a bunch of them that mimic this, and they're purely sexual. This one, you can't even see it. I don't know. I guess it's sort of a butt coming out of the ocean, but it turns out to be a heart, which is very sweet. And then it becomes the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and then sort of a lovely moon woman, and then two people making love. It's very, very fascinating. And then, of course, I love the train becoming just a symbol of energy and becoming the plunging knife, which, of course, is another sexual innuendo. Yeah. The rocket ship in the moon. The rocket ship in a vagina. And City Hall.
Another rocket ship in the vagina.
Well, it's myself and what's his name? The other artist. We're always painting City Hall. I forget. Alfredo did that too. Right. Yeah. Who's I guess a little disillusioned these days, but he's had a lot of difficulties. But a wonderful City Hall artist.
So can you say something about this early painting that you did?
Yeah, actually,
this is the mid-'60s. Right?
This is the mid-'60s. Carlos and I had just rented an apartment between Pico and Olympic, way down there, actually near the present exhibition hall, and as part of the exercise, I had this old chair, a bentwood chair, which I love, and the tea kettle, which I still have. I still have both the items, and we did a setup, and both painted this. And I think maybe we invited another artist from the county where we worked. We worked for the LA County 7th floor, and so I love to find Carlos's painting, because this one survives because my mother took it from me 30 years ago, and she had it in her kitchen until she died.
So you would have been 24 when you painted this?
Something like that.
Wow.
I don't remember.
And had you just finished art school at that point? Or?
That's right. Carlos was going to Otis, and I had put him in there.
Yeah.
Because I went to Otis from '56 through '59, all through high school, and so I think we had just finished Cal State, and I was working for Charles Eames at that point, and we shared an apartment on Centus Street in South Central. So, and that was just one of the paintings we did. We did another one of of a fish, I remember, and it was sitting out in the sun so long that it started to smell. And we invited people for dinner, so we stuffed it with onions and put it in the oven immediately, and it was great. But that's the kind of paintings we were doing in those days.
So I wonder if we can jump ahead to the next decade and talk about the work after the Chicano movement. Yeah, sure.
Sometimes look at him so boring and so kind of not inspiring that you kind of try to read.
This is during the Los Four exhibition. We decided that one of the ways we could reach a wider audience, and especially the young people, is to do a graffiti piece. And this was in 1973, before taggers, before everybody, before the New York subways, in fact. And as part of that, included some work I did as an individual, including this painting of a mended heart and another one of a broken heart that I believe Carlos cut off the stretcher bars, rolled it up, and lost it. I blame Carlos for everything. He's dead and he can't defend himself. But this one survives, and it's very early.
Yeah.
Because the graffiti mural we did was 10 by 30 feet, and it sat in my garage with a hole in the roof, and it rotted. And so eventually I should have kept it, but I threw it away. And I really regret that. I'll even mention this piece because this is very interesting. This is part of the playfulness we had with graffiti in the 70s. But I got together with Gilbert Lujan, Magoo, and we kept saying, "What would you do for a Los Four piece?" And he came up with this. And I being a graphic designer, I took it and cut all the pieces and arranged them, and did the poster. And I did 4 posters for one for each artist at the LACMA show. And I think this is one of my most successful pieces. I keep wanting to put it on T-shirts and stuff.
Well, you inspired Ana Serrano, who was the young artist that commissioned it, to come up with a font version of that.
Which I did photograph. I love that. This wallpaper. I want some.
Yeah.
Cut out the wall and give it to me.
So could you say a little bit about your experiences with her? She was an artist that was born about 5 years after Los Four ended. Had never heard of Los Four, and we introduced her to you and to Magoo. And then she did these works as a kind of tribute to the icons.
And the truth is, I never saw the works before.
Yeah.
So to me, they're fascinating. And I remember there's a very famous painting of Carlos has of the clenched fist.
Yeah.
That actually my friend Armando Ramirez owns. And here's an abstract version, and the calavera and the corazon, which is sort of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, so it's sort of between a Romero and an Almaraz. And that's a Romero owned by, who's the artist that owns this? I'm losing names. He teaches at Raul, whoever, and so on, and again there's a little car which is lovely, and the palm tree, which of course are my stuff, but they're very interesting.
Yeah, so it was a wonderful experience working with some young artists to engage with history, in this case before she was even born.
Who is this person?
Her name's Ana Serrano, and she works in cardboard, and she does figures, she does cities, and we realized that she was basically following in the legacy of Los Four in terms of turning to your culture, turning to vernacular and everyday materials, And yet when we asked her about that, she'd never heard of Los Four. And so,
Really?
so we introduced her to Frank and to Magoo, and she met with you guys and became more familiar with your work, and we wanted her to do something that kind of engage with that. She also wanted to have the plexiglass as a pyramid. So.
Which is interesting because I did an installation piece for a major tenant in downtown Los Angeles, and it's like a 6-foot pyramid with all these objects around it that I did, and I did all the objects. It's the same idea, absolutely the same idea.
Well, anything else you want to tell us about the show or your work from this time?
Well, it's kind of fun because I was a graphic designer and I put all the stuff together. This is one of Carlos's Farmworker pieces, and I'm the only one that I think that knows where the original Farmworker mural is. And we all went to paint it, and it was in Delano, I believe, for the first farmers convention. I think in the early 70s. And this is and it was I put it together with a Lujan drawing of Los Four, Por el Pueblo, which was for an exhibition we had at Cal State Los Angeles. And it's kind of fun. And this one was also done with their silkscreen department. And it was that's actually one color called a split fountain.
Oh.
So it's just one run.
Wow.
And,
So, explain the X.
And the X, it was just one that was rejected for some reason, and of course it's the only one that survives to this day. And I kind of like the X.
Yeah, it kind of works.
Yeah. This was for another exhibition we had at Mount San Antonio College, and everyone, including all our friends, Leo Limon, Judith Hernandez, and Los Four, and all of those people that were a part of the exhibition.
Yeah.
And I do have this image in color, and I'm going to do a giclée of it.
Oh, wow.
Because I've never, in those days we were limited by budget, so we had to do it in black and white. And of course I love this one. We have a larger version we did. This was for the UC Irvine show, and we did a larger version for the LACMA show. But this is Beto, his mother, and it's a loving image. And he writes all.
It's got Gronk and Willie up there in the top corner.
Yeah, it's everyone. It was quite involved, and this is a very small piece where the LACMA poster was much larger. So that's just a bit of the graphics. And of course, you mentioned that we ended up doing a comic book sponsored by Liberty Hill Foundation.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of wonderful. Leo Limon did an article, Carlos did an article.
Yeah.
I did the cover. It was a cooperative venture between Los Four and friends and all these people. And it was really kind of wonderful. Okay.